Happy Earth Day!
Happy Earth Day 2022, everybody. We wanted to do a quick video to show you what we're doing to make an impact on our planet and here at the farm. The hashtag, the theme for this year is Invest in Our Planet. We have a couple ideas for you guys to take part, if you want to, in your own lives. Plus, we'd love to hear what you're already doing to invest in our planet in your personal lives.
Finch is the cameraman right now.
Yeah, I don't want him to
Finch,
knock it over.
don't eat the...
So we have plans to collect the rainwater from our downspout systems on the gutters of our barns. And what we want to do is start collecting the rainwater into these large water tanks so that we can fill pig wallows every single day using water that we've already collected, not from our well system or...
One of the other things we're going to start doing is, although we already do it, we're going to do it in a more... just in a little bit different fashion, is we're going to compost some of our manure here. Luckily, the neighbors, they have a cornfield right across from where we pile our manure, and every spring and fall, we're actually able to push it out and spread it into that field, which is great for that field, but we want to incorporate it more here so we can compost it and then use it to grow veggies for the pigs, for maybe some squash for the cows, huh?
Totally.
Yeah, but that's something that we want to do. We want to get a nice little area that we can segment some of the manure and to flip it, compost it, and utilize it in some raised beds all over the farm.
Yeah, we want to kind of expand the area in which we do grow veggies for the pigs. Luckily, we already take in some sort of recycled, if you will, vegetables from local restaurants and places like that. Our volunteers, Lauren and Andy, they bring weekly vegetables from a restaurant that's close to where they live. So that's another thing that we want to do is not go purchase, produce that comes wrapped in plastic. So we want to reduce our plastic use there as well.
One of the things we're actually going to do today is we're going to plant a tree. And that's something that we want to do every Earth Day. Putting more trees on the property is awesome because it's going to give more shade to the animals. The specific tree we're going to be planting, which we'll show you in just a moment, the goats love to eat the branches when they fall off the tree, so that's awesome. We want to do that all over the property every year, and maybe next year we'll be able to plant more than one. Who knows?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and with this tree too, it's really good for our soil. John will talk more about that, but it's going to grow specific to our water table content and things like that. So one of the best ways to take care of our planet is to adopt a plant-based lifestyle, a vegan lifestyle, and we have the perfect person to help you go vegan. If you're a beginner, you've considered it, it can be really overwhelming or intimidating to even think about. John, why don't you talk a little bit about what you've launched recently? Yeah,
so if you can actually go to johnted.com, and it's just starting right now. I'm planning on having a bunch of different cooking classes, and mostly I want to focus on the comfort foods. So when you first go vegan, if you really miss X, Y, and Z, I want to provide recipes for you there and show you exactly how to cook them, talk about knife skills, anything you need to know in the kitchen, so that when you do go vegan, you're not really missing anything. Although it is important to take care of your body, sometimes you want that real delicious comfort food on a rainy day, and a lot of times that comfort food is the item that keeps people from going vegan. They say, I would go vegan, but I can't live without
cheese.
Yeah. So that's kind of my personal goal on johnted.com. But there is a lot of different vegan outreach that we want to do here in the coming months. Hopefully by Earth Day next year, we might even be able to have an event here, but I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves.
Well, and why is it important to go vegan?
Primary reason for me is for the animals, but it's also important for your health and for the health of the planet, which is what today is all about. 70% of the soy grown here, I believe it's 70, it might even be more than that, is grown just for the livestock, for the animals that humans eat. And that monocropping is really not good for the soil, and it does damage on a widespread areas all over country and even world. So going vegan will decrease our need to grow such huge crops or such like large plots of the same crop to feed our livestock.
And even with that being said, you know, soy is not good for cattle to eat. It's a cheap way to feed them in a bulk situation. I shouldn't say it's not good for them, but it's not ideal. You know, we don't feed soy to our animals. We feed them roughage and fiber in a way that's palatable to them.
We have a lot of experience with veganism under our belt here at Mockingbird, and if there are any questions at all on going vegan, please leave a comment below this video or message us, or you can even go to johnted.com and leave a message there, and we'll do whatever we can to help you go vegan.
Yeah.
Right, Ram?
These guys too.
What do you say we head over and I'll plant that tree? We'll talk a little bit about it.
Sounds great. Let's do it.
Let's go.
So yesterday when I was out looking for a good tree to plant on our property, on the farm, I found this one willow tree that looked pretty crunchy on the ends. They actually gave it to me half off. So I brought it home and I said, John, do you think that this is salvageable? And John said,
yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of new growth pushing down here. It looks like it got dry either last year or maybe even this spring. I'm not sure how they stored it, but it'll definitely bounce back. I already took the time to dig the hole, so we didn't have to talk too much about that. You'll notice the hole itself is about twice as wide as my container, and it almost kind of cones down. It's not like a straight drop of the soil. It kind of gradually slopes down. One thing that I notice a lot of people do wrong is when they plant their trees, they plant them way too deep, and that can kill the tree pretty quickly because the soil collects around this trunk right here and rots out the cambium layer, which is how the tree drinks water, and it fails within 1 year. So what I like to do, no matter where I buy the tree from, every grower is different when they try to grow a tree in a pot. So you kind of just take your hands and peel away that top layer of soil until you find one of the roots. Then you know that that's the level that you want to plant it at. And you'll notice it's maybe about 1 inch or so above ground. That's good as well because I don't want water to just sit in this hole. Even though willows are really, really happy in moist soils, they don't like to be sitting in a pool of water. So when this thing's big, it'll be able to suck up some of the water around these low areas, but I definitely don't want to plant it in a low area right now.
so with this guy, it looks like it's leaning, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
the wind comes from this direction.
Yeah.
Would you stake a tree like this,
Yeah,
John?
that's the thing. I'm not going to stake it today. Typically, I encourage people to not stake their tree if it's not in a windy spot because it'll throw better roots. It'll balance itself better. If you were to stake it right here, you know, with 3 stakes and then some wire and some hose so it doesn't scratch the trunk, the tree's going to get used to that, and it's going to get used to that support. So it's not going to throw roots to help stabilize it. And you know, you could have an issue 5 years down the line when this thing's really top heavy and it doesn't have the right kind of roots. But with this place, this is like one of the windiest places I've ever had to plant at, and the wind blows so hard that it could literally snap this tree. So although willows are so bendy, you don't really have to worry about the snapping except for the dry parts. We're still going to end up staking it before the week's over, I think. We're pretty much ready to fill this in now. This soil's nice and rich and almost black, almost like it's muck for onions, but I'm not going to use anything else except for the native soil. I wouldn't worry too much about planting right here. You've got nice, beautiful green grass. You've got, you know, all signs of life around this tree. But if you have a yard where you've got patchy spots, or the grass doesn't grow right, or it's really rocky, you actually might want to take a little sample of your soil into a garden center and have it tested, and they'll tell you if you need to do anything. But I wouldn't recommend doing that, especially unless you know you have an issue. we don't have to do that here. Like I said, it's just lots of signs of life around this tree. A lot of garden centers nowadays, they'll give you as much information as you need. This neat little guy, it gives you the instructions right here, and it says shade on there. Now this can actually be confusing because you might think that this needs to be planted in the shade, but this is just considered a shade tree. It's not an ornamental flowering tree. It's not a fruit tree. It's just a tree that offers a nice amount of shade.
Good to know. I definitely saw that and thought, well, why would you plant a tree in shade? But
there are some trees that really do love the morning sun and then the afternoon shade, like dogwoods and Japanese maples.
we are hoping to plant at least one tree a year due to the loss of all of the ash on our property. And due to wind, we've lost so many trees the last couple of years.
That's it, you guys. So I think we'll probably post some update videos on this. I'm not going to trim all the dead off for another week or two until I see all the new growth coming off of the alive stuff, and then we'll shape this thing up.
It'll be cool to see. We can also post updates about how John does prune trees.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm an expert in the pruning department, but definitely like the dead stuff around here will be really easy to take off. And now, Janelle, you were saying one of the other things we want to do besides just planting trees is just wildflowers all over the property.
Yeah.
And I think that that's a great idea. Encourage our honeybee friends to come hang out.
Mm-hmm. And send volunteers home with beautiful bouquets.
That's right. Yeah, that's a good point.
This is our beautiful new willow.
Hopefully you make it, bud.
We should name it.
Willow.
Let us know. Let us know what you think we should name our new willow tree. All the ruminants probably will be thrilled for the browse.
The tree we're planting right now is not actually in a fenced-in area where the animals can hang out, which is great because a tree this size would be destroyed in a matter of minutes.
Totally.
I'm pretty sure Sophie would just come and yank it right out of the ground right now if she could.
Just walk right over it.
Yeah, she just run right over it. I think that just about does it for today, but we wanted to wish you guys a happy Earth Day. Please take care of our planet. It's the only one we have.
True.
And we're going to close up right now, but we're going to leave you with a really beautiful little moment. We're going to let Cece hang out with Sophie for a little. So
Yeah, and let us know how you're investing in our planet as well.
we'll see you in the next video, guys.